Hi everyone, my name is Leah D. Benedetto, and I am currently a junior accounting major, minoring in economics. I am originally from San Jose, California, and will hopefully be returning back to my hometown after graduation for work. I chose to research the California CPA ethics guidelines, since California is not only where I am originally from, but it is also most likely where I will be obtaining my CPA license. In this video presentation, I will present the educational requirements for obtaining a CPA, the major ethical codes associated with the state of California, a comparison to the broader ethical concept we've learned in class, and finally, how I plan to meet these ethics standards. As you can see on the chart, these are the education requirements in order to sit for the CPA exam. Since California specifically requires ethics-related studies, it is evident that California holds its licensed CPAs to high ethical standards. In order to find out the major ethical requirements for CPAs in California, I analyzed the California Society of CPAs Code of Professional Conduct, also known as Cal-CPA. The principles of the Cal-CPA define the ethical expectations of CPAs. The first section of the principles describes the responsibility a CPA has to exercise professional and moral judgment in service of all clients, but their utmost responsibility is to prioritize the public's interest. According to the Cal-CPA, public interest is defined as the collective well-being of the community of people and institutions the profession serves. The public can consist of clients, governments, employers, investors, or anyone who relies on the integrity of the CPA. When CPAs encounter conflicting pressures from these groups, they should act with integrity. The Cal-CPA states that integrity is being honest and candid within the constraints of the client confidentiality. In the absence of specific rules or standards, integrity requires the CPA to rely on ethical standards to make appropriate judgments and to observe the principles of objectivity and independence. Objectivity is a distinguishing feature of the CPA profession. It establishes that obligations should be impartial and free of conflicting interest. Independence means avoiding relationships that may impair the CPA's objectivity when rendering services. The final ethical expectation is to exercise due care. Due care is the demand for excellence amongst CPAs. It requires the CPA to adequately plan and supervise any professional activity or service of which they are responsible. And it expects the CPA to perform to the best of their ability, having the best interests of both the client whose services are being rendered to and also the public. All of the ethical principles just discussed have also been addressed throughout our class this term, but there are many broader concepts concerning national CPA ethics codes that can be compared to California's. The United States has the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, also known as the AICPA, which has a published code of professional conduct. Similar to the Cal-CPA's code, the AICPA's code discusses the ethical principles or aspirational statements that are expected from the CPAs. Additionally, we learned about professional judgment and skepticism. A CPA's professional judgment is influenced by a person's ethical values. According to our textbook, professional skepticism is linked to professional judgment through the ethical standards of independent thought, objectivity, and due care, which are incorporated in the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct. Professional judgment and skepticism both link to ethical values. Libby and Thorne surveyed members of the accounting community and developed two sets of virtues important to the practice of accounting. The first set is intellectual virtues, the most important being integrity, independence, and objectivity. The second set is instrumental virtues, the most important being courage, persistence, and due care. Libby and Thorne's research supports both the national and California state ethics codes. I have created an effective plan in order to meet the ethical standards required by the state of California. The first step of my plan is to ensure I have met all of the educational requirements in order to sit for the CPA. This will include graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from the University of Oregon, as well as obtaining a Master of Accounting after graduation. The second step will be to study and hopefully pass the CPA exams. The final step will be to find a workplace that values ethics and maintains high ethical standards. This can be done using Burchard's ethical dissonance cycle model. As a licensed CPA, I plan to uphold high individual ethics, and I would like the organization I work for to have the same values. Therefore, based on Burchard's model, I will seek out high organizational ethics with high individual ethics. Working for an organization with high ethics will give me greater support for ethical behavior and promote a greater connection between career success and ethical behavior. With these 3 steps, I should be able to effectively attain a CPA and meet the California ethics standards. In conclusion, the state of California has many ethical codes which include responsibilities, the public's interest, integrity, objectivity, independence, and due care. Similarly, the AICPA has a code of professional conduct which discusses similar ethical codes on a national level. Additionally, the concepts of professional judgment and skepticism and intellectual and instrumental virtues are expected of CPAs to meet ethical standards. In order for me to meet these ethical standards, I plan to meet the educational requirements, pass the CPA exam, and work for a firm that has high organization ethics to match my high individual ethics.